Okay, good evening, everyone. Hope you're tuning in to our live stream this evening. Hope you can hear me, and if you can, please let me know that you're hearing me on tonight's impromptu Sunday evening live stream at Gav's Weathervids. Evening, Adam. How are you, my friend? And Mio Palm Weather. Hi. Good evening. Hope you had a lovely Sunday. That's great. Thanks for letting me know, Adam. And hello, Alpha. How are you, my friend? Hope you had a good Sunday. That's great. Thanks for letting me know. So it's been a busy day at Gav's Weathervids. Hope you've all been enjoying the updates today. We began our Easter updates, of course, at Gav's Weathervids earlier on this evening. So yeah, we've started the countdown to the first sort of bank holiday weekend of the evening of the year, I should say. Been a long day today, so if I sort of get a bit mixed up, then that's why. It's been a very busy day because when I have to do the seasonal updates on Sunday as well, I also have to do a written version of those. So it all takes quite a long time, and the upshot is I've had a pretty busy day. Got 11 watching so far, so good evening to the 11 people who are watching us so far. Hope you had a lovely weekend and a lovely Sunday. Blue Lightning, hello Gav. Weather looking good for tomorrow. Yep, it looks like there could be some heavy showers down across southeast, but I haven't had time to look at the atmospheric soundings today. So I'm not sure what the potential is, but it's certainly this morning when I updated the morning summary on the website, and then also when I did the Gazzo Sunny Round, I had a look, and it did look as though some pretty big showers across parts of eastern, southern, southeastern Britain tomorrow. Stephen Wall, hi Gav, Gusty here. Hello Gusty, been a long time since we've had a chat. How are you, my friend? Hope you're okay. Hope you had a good weekend. So yeah, it could be a bit of thundery potential around tomorrow. One wonders whether we could see a few flashes of lightning. Here we are, rumble of thunder as the showers drift in from the east through the course of tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what potential is for those showers tomorrow. Got 14 watching us this evening. Again, the reason we're doing this these impromptu chats, we aren't publicising them. I'm just doing them on the fly, if you like. Is that I'm just learning the craft really. When we get through to the summer, I am intending, excuse me, I am intending to do some sort of publicised live streaming, much more regular earlier in the evening. I was thinking about doing sort of a weekly live stream, say for an hour or so, every Sunday at around 5 o'clock, something like that, so everybody would know when it's going to be, and much more sort of publicised. We'll be able to publicise it through Gav's website and also through Twitter, Facebook, all of those social media places, and I think we will hopefully get a rather bigger view figures. The time we're doing this now at nearly 10:15 in the evening. I appreciate it is very late, so that'll be coming up in the summer probably, and then particularly as we go through into the sort of second half of the year. I think if we was to do say an hour's live streaming every Sunday around 5 o'clock in the evening, and particularly when we release winter updates starting in September, I think that could be rather fun, and hopefully a lot of people would enjoy that maybe. So these will get much more regular later in the year, but at the moment I'm just sort of getting myself up to speed with live streaming. It's very different for me. I'm used to sitting down in front of the webcam with the screen recorder in a very controlled way and doing my videos that way. So sort of having to think as I'm speaking to you live is very different something that's very different for me. So it's not something that I find particularly easy, and therefore I would prefer to do these sort of on the fly live streams where just a few of you listening to me, and then if anything goes wrong, of course, hopefully none of you that are listening will mind. Whereas if I'm publicising this a bit earlier in the day, and we've got sort of quite a big amount of viewers, if anything goes wrong, I'm going to get people who get upset with me, get annoyed with me. So I think it's better while I'm learning about live streaming to do this later in the day and with not all that much publicity. So that's what we're doing here. That's the reason that these live streams are occurring very irregularly, aren't being publicised, and are happening quite late on in the evening. Got 24 watching now. Hello to all of you watching so far, around 7 thumbs up. If you want to ask any questions, by the way, now up to 25, if you want to ask any questions, please fire away. I'll do my best to answer them if I can. So we've got Philip O'Malley. Good evening, Gavin. It's a cold and dry night here in the Republic of Ireland. Hope you're keeping well and look after your throat too. Yeah, I've still got that little bit of a tickle, Philip, from that cold I had before Christmas. I can't seem to shake that tickle off. So yeah, keeping the throat moist, and all's well here, my friend. Hope you're having a lovely evening over there in the Republic. Blue Lightning sounds good. So yeah, those are the plans, Blue Lightning. Hopefully when we get through to the summer, we will be able to do these live streams much earlier in the evening, do them regularly. I think around 5 o'clock on a Sunday evening for an hour or so would be quite fun. Everybody would know then when the live stream is set for. And I think we could maybe start to build up a little bit of an audience then if we do that, particularly when we get through to the winter updates. We will be able to kind of like connect the live streams with the winter updates. If you've got any questions about the winter updates that were released earlier in the day, then obviously people will be able to ask those questions. So I think that will be quite fun, hopefully. Stephen Dupe, gonna get a Greenland High end of the month. I'm not sure, Stephen, actually. The latest world updates have been tend to back away from this Greenland High a little bit, although it's never changing situation. It's quite confused at the moment, even up to the middle part of the month. We're certainly focusing on this Scandinavian high in the next sort of week to 10 days, but whether this retrogresses to Greenland and starts pulling down northerly winds, be interesting to see back, because by the time you get through to the end of April, it's very rare to get snow, but it has happened in the past. We have had sort of set up Greenland highs in the past at the end of April. Happened in a couple of years. 1981 happened in 1908. I think as well, maybe I think it was April 1908, right at the end of the month. And yeah, so those two examples did give us really quite a potent northerly wind, and it did get pretty cold as well in those 2 years. There was widespread snow. Very, very rare to get widespread heavy snow from northerly winds to the Greenland High at the end of April. It's not totally out of the question that it can happen. And I've got those two examples when it did happen. Now up to 25 watching, and got 9 thumbs up. Hello to all the people watching on this Sunday evening. Stephen, ECM fairly consistent. Yeah, that's right. So ECM does look pretty cold tonight at 144 hours. It really is bringing in those easterly winds. So we should just wait and see where this is going to go. But the GFS backed away from the chance of colder conditions at sort of around the middle part of the month. We was focusing on quite a potent easterly wind at the mid part of the month, kind of like late this coming week, I mean, going on into the next weekend. But GFS backed away back, but ECM, as you say, Stephen, is pretty consistent with that. 27 watching now, going up to 30. I wonder. Philip O'Malley, plenty of hot whiskey, and it will knock the germs away, Gary. It's guaranteed to work. Keep up the excellent weather commentary, look after yourself, and hope the birthday party was a success today. Actually, it was yesterday, Philip, so it wasn't my birthday. It was a family friend who turned 90, and yeah, we had a lovely afternoon lovely lady who turned 90 yesterday, and very nice afternoon. I saw some people I haven't seen for about 20 years actually. So one of those afternoons where we was all sat around having a good old chinwag. As far as whiskey is concerned, well, I don't think I better go down that particular avenue, actually, my friend. But I think it's more like a Lemsip or something for me. Mark Johnson, evening, Gav, watching live on my phone as I'm walking back from the pub. Good evening, Mark. You had a lovely evening in the pub. And Mark says, I know it's very early, but what are your initial thoughts as to what this summer could have in store? So then, Mark, we released the 5th summer update earlier on today. Everything had been going so well with the summer updates up to last week. Most of the summer updates seem to be pointing to a pretty hot and dry summer, didn't they? But we got to last week when we looked at March CT data, and all of a sudden everything went rather wrong with that one. And this update, the 5th update, looking at March precipitation, that also hasn't been particularly crash hot either. So what did seem as though it's going to be all systems go potentially for a hot summer earlier on in the updates, and got a little bit wrong with March data. We shall see what the subsequent updates have in store. It's still very, very early days. I'm really undecided actually about this summer so far. So my initial thoughts, I'll let you just see, my initial thoughts were probably that we would have another back-to-back hot summer. That's kind of like where I was edging right at the very start of these updates. But then I never like to kind of prejudge anything. I like to judge every season on its own terms. I don't like to go in with preconceived ideas, because I think if you're doing that, it can kind of like push the forecaster to wanting to find the outcome that they are preferring, if you like. I think there are one or two forecasters out there, James Madden, sorry about that. There are one or two forecasters out there that prejudge what they want to happen, and they will fit any kind of scenario into their preferred outcome. And that's totally the wrong way to forecast the weather. The correct way to forecast the weather is to treat each season, particularly when talking about long range forecasting, is treat each season as a blank canvas, if you like. It's totally blank canvas. You're starting from scratch, and you're just going to go through the evidence and see what the evidence is, see what direction the evidence points you towards, if you like. Almost like doing a forensic investigation, if you like. That's how I like to do my long range forecasting. So whilst at the very start of the season, I did kind of like think maybe this would be a back-to-back hot summer, kind of like in a 75, 76 or 94, 95 type scenario. I have to say that now I'm a little bit more unsure about that anyway, with the March data. But we're going to have to wait and see where things go over the next few summer updates. I think we're doing solar activity next week, so we're going to look at summers are occurring around solar minimum. So that'll be quite an interesting watch. And of course, a week after that, we rest for summer updates for a week. That's Easter Sunday, and we're going to have Solar Sunday on Easter Sunday. That's be the first one that we've done, I think, since around last summer. I can't remember when the last time was that we did a Solar Sunday. It seems like a very, very long time ago. So Solar Sunday coming up on Easter Sunday, that'll be quite interesting watch as well. We're just kind of like beginning to chew around ideas for what we want to do for this Solar Sunday. So some interesting updates coming up over the next few weeks. But as far as the summer is concerned, I think we very much need to wait and see where those future updates are going. 30 watching now. Hello to all of you. 31. Hope you're having a great evening. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening. Thanks so much for sharing part of your Sunday evening with us here at GasMobiz. Anyway, Wales, Grand Solar Minimum Channel, cold here in North Wales. Is it true April could be one of the coldest on record? I doubt that very much. Wales Grand Solar Minimum. At the moment, the CET is very close to average. We're a week in, possibly going to go a little bit cooler than average over the next day or so. Not seeing anything desperately cold within model output at the moment, and I think the coldest April on record is quite unlikely. Never rule anything out, never say never. But if that was to happen, I would have thought that the first week of April, because it's a warming month on average, remember, so on average it does get warmer the further on into month you go. So to have a record-breakingly cold April, I think you'll have to have a very cold start to the month. So I think that's pretty unlikely. But there's certainly a chillier feel to the weather at the moment. So we've got Craig Stamp. Evening, Craig. How you having a lovely Sunday evening, my friend? Thanks so much for sharing part of your Sunday evening with us at Gasworthy. It's Billy Johnson. Hey, Billy, how are you doing, my friend? And also asking, are you going to have a nice summer? So just talking about the summer, we're not sure about that yet, Billy. We're still in the midst of the summer updates. And as I say, we're going to wait and see how the evidence evolves as we go further on. Fingers crossed we'll have a nice summer, but it's too early to say at this stage. Keep watching these summer updates. Michael Brown, evening Gav, any chance of thunder tomorrow here in Oxfordshire? Wouldn't rule out a few rumbles, Michael. There's certainly going to be some rather heavy showers around, I think, tomorrow. Again, I haven't looked at the soundings this evening. I've been too busy, so haven't had a look at the direct soundings within the atmosphere for tomorrow. But when I looked this morning, it did look as though there's going to be some pretty big showers around tomorrow. So in theory, I wouldn't totally rule out the chance of some heavy downpours, maybe the odd rumble of thunder coming through too. Synaptic user, hi Gav, hope you're well. Could this very low solar activity make a big impact on the weather in the coming years, or dare I say it, the last ice age? So Synaptic, I'm very dubious about ice ages. We always hear a lot about ice ages taking place, but I think more generally, though, talking about solar minimum, what you'd say about that is that obviously when you're around or just after solar minimum, you do increase the chance of something happening in terms of a colder winter. You increase the chance of northern blocking when you're around or just after solar minimum. So yeah, I would say that certainly the next couple of years, we should be loading the dice towards an increased chance of northern blocking and a colder winter. But having said that, again, it's not a guarantee of anything. As I always say, each season is unique unto itself. So, for example, if you was at solar minimum, but you had a super El Nino, but super El Nino would override everything else, and you would come away, or almost certainly come away, with a mild or a very mild winter. And so on. So yes, in theory, being around solar minimum will increase our chance of a colder winter this coming winter, and probably a couple of winters after that, at least. But again, each one of those winters will be unique, and we can't guarantee anything. Harry King, congrats, 34 people, Gav. So yeah, we had have 34 people watching us this evening. Dropped back a little bit now. I do appreciate they're very late on a Sunday evening, so not ideal time to be doing this. But again, we're just having a bit of fun. We're just having a little bit of a chat here. So let's just say that these will get much more frequent, they'll get more regular, and they will be very much publicized. So we'll have bigger viewing figures when we get to the summer. That's when I'm intending to go properly live on Gasworthy's. Billy, thanks for that. So thanks so much for asking your question, Billy. Stephen saying today 17 degrees in Belgium and hail. So already some big showers over there in Belgium, and I think could have some of those big downpours here as well. Michael Brown, cheers for that, Gav. So again, thanks so much for asking your question. If you want to have any questions answered, then please use the comments to let me know, or leave the chat to let me go. I'm looking at the chat right now as I'm speaking to you. So if there's anything you want to know, within reason, of course, then I'll do what I can to answer your questions. So up to 28 watching now with 9 thumbs up. So Hope everyone that's watching this little impromptu live stream is enjoying it. Stephen Wall, a few showers edging westwards across the Dover Straits as we speak. So, yeah, I think again there will be a few showers rumbling around this evening. I mean, tomorrow things could get a lot more livelier with those downpours through the course of tomorrow. I felt that the Easter update went quite well, so I don't know if anybody's seen that yet, but the first Easter update I thought looked quite promising, really. I mean, it's early days on that. We're talking about the extended GFS. We know how the GFS is prone to chopping and changing. But I thought for a first update, that was a pretty decent start. So maybe with Easter occurring so late this year, maybe we'll have a nice bank holiday. It would be nice if we did. I think we deserve it, really. Have some nice weather for Easter. Kieran Edmonds is in. So good evening, Kieran. Hope you're enjoying the little impromptu live stream that we're doing here, saying misty and murky in Halesowen in the West Midlands. So, yeah, it's been a murky old day today, hasn't it? Been very cloudy. I was thinking that we might brighten the skies a little bit, but certainly where I am in Northants, it never brightened up. It's been a murky old day. It was a bit damp earlier on in the afternoon as well, though we managed to avoid the heavy showers. But overall, been pretty chilly, pretty murky, cloudy sort of day. Not a very nice day at all today. And I think that's indicative of what's been happening across a large part of the country as well. Simon Evans, I think the weather lately, Gavin, has changed the forecast of the summer forecast, with it being very cold and below average by day, with it snowing in London on Wednesday, the 3rd of April. So I'm not sure about that, really, Simon. I'm not sure that one individual day's weather or a few days' weather would have many impacts on the summer. Bear in mind, I mean, in 1975, it actually snowed in June, famously. On the 2nd of June 1975, snow stopped play at the cricket matches that were going on, and there was a covering of snow actually here in Northants on the 2nd of June. I wasn't born then, but I've heard all about it from people who were around then, yeah, it was a pretty wintry day to say the least on the 2nd of June 1975. The next day the sun was shining. It was pretty hot. All the snow suddenly melted. Of course, we had a very hot summer in 1975. So with the weather, you just never know, my friend. And I wouldn't say that the sort of chilly conditions that we've had recently would necessarily have any impacts on the summer. Although, as I say, the March data, CET and precipitation that we've looked at in the last two analogs updates have been a little bit disappointing, haven't they? Have been a little bit disappointing, last couple of analogs updates. But that's just looking at March data on its own. Before that, we have the QBO, Westerly transitioning QBO summers that were really pointing us towards a hotter summer. So it swings around about, so we will know when we get to the summer forecast itself. We're going to know where the evidence is broadly taking us. I think the spring forecast is doing quite well. So give us a thumbs up if you agree that the spring forecast is doing okay. I think the spring forecast is so far anyway certainly done a lot better since done a lot better compared to the winter forecast. So I think the spring forecast is holding up quite well, but still early days on that. Of course, we're only halfway through, not even halfway through spring yet. Wales Grand Solar Minimum Channel. I think BC should stand down, let Gav take over, as Gav has a better record of accuracy. Well, that's very kind of you, my friend, but I'm not sure about that. Actually, I don't think I could take over from the BBC or the UK Met. They're great at what they do. I've never been one to knock the BBC or the UK Met. They're really, really good at what they do. And what I'm doing with Gav's Weather Vince is something very different to what they're doing. So they're giving people short range forecasts in time frames that people can really appreciate, if you like. So people aren't going to sit around, the general public are not going to sit around for kind of like 20-30 minutes watching one of my videos. So they want to know what we're going to do today, tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. For the BBC, they are the best in the business, giving them that information. What I'm doing, it's much more in depth. It's much more towards the towards kind of like people have an interest in the weather. So I think they complement each other quite well. Actually, I think they complement one another quite well, and I don't see any reason for competition between the two of us. They're great at what they do, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing at Gaz Weathers. Excuse me once again. Kieran Edmonds, that was the day before my dad's 10th birthday. So is that 1975, Kieran? 2nd of June 1975, what you're just talking about with the snow. So let me know if that's what you're referring to. Johnny Hiscott, evening Gavin, have you seen that NOAA have released the Solar Cycle 24 forecast 10 crossing on next weather? Actually, Johnny, we have been talking about that behind the scenes at Gaz Weathers. I can't say too much about it at the moment, but we may well, don't want to give anything away, but we may well be discussing that Solar Cycle 25 forecast in Solar Sunday. So just watch your space on that. We may well have a little bit of a chat about that forecast from NOAA on or in Solar Sunday, which you're going to be seeing in 2 weeks' time on Easter Sunday. Solar Sunday is Easter Sunday at Gaz Weathers. So Kieran, yeah, so confirming that that indeed 1975 was the day before his dad's birthday. Looks like the watch numbers are going down a little bit, so we're going down to 20 now. Probably wrap this up quite shortly. I appreciate it's getting quite late on a Sunday evening. I don't want to keep anybody up on this Sunday evening, so probably wrap this up in around 5 or 10 minutes or so. But we have got 16 thumbs up, so hello to all of you that are watching. Hope you're enjoying this little impromptu live stream, this little chat that we're doing here on this Sunday evening. So looking further ahead, we're going to be doing a historic video on Easter Monday. Now, I'm not sure when that historic video is going. Well, I'm not sure what that historic video is going to be about. Yeah, I've got various ideas chewing around in the old grey matter. So there's a few options are on the table for the historic video for Easter Monday, and just watch this space on that. That's going to be well, I'll be announcing that probably in around a week's time. I normally sort of nail it down what we're going to do for the historic video around a week before we do it. So I will let you know in good time what the historic video is going to be on Easter Monday this year at Gaz Weathers. And we're up to 18 thumbs up now. Can we get to 20 before we sign off? It'd be nice if we could. But yeah, the historic video will be coming up on Easter Monday. We'll be doing more Easter updates as well over the next few day. So I think the next Easter update is penciled in for Tuesday, and then we'll do probably another one on Thursday and another one on Saturday, and so on. I always enjoy getting to this time of year and being able to do these sort of bank holiday weekend updates, especially the events updates as well. They're always great fun doing forecasts for things like Glastonbury. Would you believe that Glastonbury has did give Gaz Weathers, my website, the biggest single days viewing figures or amount of traffic in a single day. I think in 2016, it must have been, I think in 2016, Glastonbury took 1 day's viewing figures or website traffic figures to kind of like over 30,000 people going on to Gaz Weathers just on that day. It was mainly within a 2 to 3 hour period on a Sunday evening. So Glastonbury is something that I always enjoy forecasting for. They had the year off, of course, last year, but it's back this year, and hopefully we'll have a fun season of Glastonbury updates as well hopefully have fun updates, year of grocery updates this year, along with all of the other sort of holidays, events, forecasts that we always do through the spring and through the summer. It's always a lot more relaxed, I think, in the spring and the summer. So that's why I like doing the spring and summer events forecasting, because people are quite interested in what the weather will be doing on the bank holidays and for various events, but the emotions are kind of like a little bit less compared to when we're doing snow watches and things like that, where there's a lot of pressure, with those snow watches. So I enjoy doing the events forecast a lot. A few more people coming in. So Stephen saying that AO would be negative for a certain time. What are the consequences for Europe? So the Arctic Oscillation, remember, it's just an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state. So just because the Arctic Oscillation is negative does not mean that it's the Arctic Oscillation itself that is that's going to drive anything. It just means that the pattern, the high pressure essentially that's formed over the pole, is pushing the Arctic Oscillation into negative territory. At this time of year, if we was to get a big high pressure setting up over Greenland, it's not too late for Europe to get a swipe of really cold air from the north. And I think there will be some pretty cold air around actually in the next week or so, across particularly northern parts of Europe. So for northern Europe, winter could well be hanging on for a little while longer, courtesy of the blocking that's sending that Arctic Oscillation negative. John Stenson, good evening, Gavin. I really enjoy your videos and hearing your in-depth knowledge on all things meteorological. You've got a big following here in Republic of Ireland. Keep up the good work, and thanks again. Thanks so much, my friend. That is so kind of you to say that. And I am aware that we do have quite a big following in Ireland, in the Republic, and we have a following across other parts of Europe as well. I can tell, I see from the website stats at Gasworth is my website, and also the analytics at YouTube, I'm able to see where people are watching the videos from, roughly. I can't see you down to your house level, of course, but I can see the sort of countries that people are viewing our content in. And I am aware that we have got quite a following in the Republic as well as in other parts of Europe, which is one of the reasons I've been so upset about the Article 13 debacle. And so that's one of the reasons I've been upset about that, but won't get on to that, won't spoil the mood by talking about that nonsense. But yeah, that's so kind of you, my friend. Thank you so much for that. And it's great that people are enjoying what we're doing, and it's great to know that people are finding what we are doing at Gasworth is useful and informative too. Richard is asking, how about a historic video times of excessive rainfalls associated with very active fronts? So I'm not sure about that, Richard. The historic videos, I generally like to do them and talk about sort of a season of weather, if you like. I think that's what people enjoy seeing quite a bit. Within that, you can get individual days that have very interesting and unusual weather going on, of course. So, for example, when we did the historic video for the summer of 2003, the key focus of that was going to be those very, very hot days at the beginning of August. And that day, but I think it's the 11th of August 2003, where the temperature went up to, I think it went up to 38, 39 degrees. So obviously within the season that we're talking about, there can be very interesting individual days of weather. But for the historically, I tend to like to focus on sort of individual days. No, I tend to like to focus on seasons, and then within that you can include very unusual, interesting individual days weather as well. We've got 23 watching at the moment, and we are up to 20 likes. Stephen saying that he's off to bed, so good night, keep it up, mate. So thanks so much for tuning in, Stephen. Have a pleasant night's sleep, and I'm going to be signing this up very, very soon. May just keep it going for another minute or two, but then I think we'll start to wrap it up. So I do appreciate we're late on a Sunday evening, so I don't want to keep anybody up too late looking at this. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in tonight, Stephen. So got plenty of updates coming up at Gazovitz over the next few days and the next weeks. As I say, we've got Solar Sunday coming up on Easter Sunday, 2 weeks today. What else I'm going to tell you? Got the Easter updates. They've started. The first one was pretty good. And I think that with those Easter updates, next will be on Tuesday, following one will be on Thursday, then probably Saturday, something like that. Of course, you'll have your regular updates over the next few days as well, and the historic video will be coming up on Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Bank Holiday Monday. Oh, there might be a competition as well. I'm not sure about it. Just in the first stages of having a bit of a chat with the supplier who tends to supply us with the prizes for competition. So there may be some sort of competition coming up, running up towards Easter as well. We do like to have a bit of a giveaway at this time of the year, so that might be something that's coming up as well at some point over the next week or two. Obviously, I'll keep you posted about that. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I don't want to keep anybody up too late. It's been a fun few minutes chat, and as I say, these are going to get much more regular over the summer and into the autumn. So we're just sort of building up to this. Watch out if you sort of enjoy these impromptu mini live streams, then watch out for them on the channel over the next couple of months or so. When we get into the summer, I'm looking to do a weekly live stream for at least an hour every week on a Sunday, probably around 5 o'clock in the evening, something like that, much earlier, so that all of you can tune in and enjoy it, and it won't be any problem keep you up too late or anything like that. That's going to start, I think, in the summer, and then we'll build up with those live streams, weekly regular live streams. We'll build up with them as we go into the autumn, and hopefully be able to connect them to the winter updates, so people will be able to kind of like ask questions about the winter updates that we've released on that particular day. I think that could be quite fun. So watch out for more impromptu live streams over the next month or two as we're building up to our regular weekly Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon live streams that will begin in the summer. Thanks so much for tuning in on this Sunday evening, very late Sunday evening. Thanks so much to all of you for tuning in, and I'm going to stop the broadcast there. So once again, to say thanks so much, and good night.